What I'm about to share with you in this video is something that millions of naturalized American citizens across the United States need to hear right now, today, before another day passes because the rules are changing. The landscape of immigration law in this country is shifting faster than at any point in recent memory. And if you are a naturalized citizen, if you became an American citizen through the naturalization process, if you have family members who are naturalized citizens, or if you are currently on the path towards citizenship, then what is happening right now in Washington directly affects your life, your rights, your security, and your future in this country. The Trump administration has made immigration enforcement and immigration reform the absolute centerpiece of its second-term agenda. And the changes that are being proposed, debated, and in many cases already being implemented go far beyond what most media outlets are fully explaining to the public. There are new rules, new executive actions, new legal challenges, and new uncertainties that every naturalized citizen in America must understand. The question is not whether these changes affect you. The question is whether you are prepared. So stay with me for this entire video because the information you are about to receive could be the most important thing you watch this year. Welcome to US Visa Info, the channel that cuts through the political noise and gives you straight, honest, and accurate information about United States immigration law, visa processes, citizenship requirements, and everything in between. We cover the facts, we explain the law, and we make sure that you and your family are never left in the dark about changes that directly affect your lives. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell because in an immigration environment that is changing this rapidly, staying informed is not optional. It is essential. And if you have been with US Visa Info for a while, you know that we always deliver when it matters most, and today matters more than most. Let us begin with the foundational question that is on the minds of millions of people across this country right now. Can the Trump administration change the rights of naturalized citizens? To answer this question properly, we need to understand what naturalized citizenship actually means under United States law. When a person completes the naturalization process, takes the oath of allegiance, and becomes a United States citizen, they are entitled to all the same rights, privileges, and protections as any native-born American citizen with one single exception, which is that naturalized citizens cannot become president or vice president of the United States. That is the only legal distinction between a naturalized citizen and a native-born citizen under the Constitution as it has been interpreted for well over a century. Every other right, every protection, every freedom guaranteed by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights applies equally to naturalized citizens. However, what is happening under the current administration is a deliberate and aggressive effort to test the outer boundaries of that legal framework, and some of the proposals being advanced would, if successful, represent the most dramatic changes to citizenship law in modern American history. Understanding what is real, what is being proposed, what has legal support, and what faces serious constitutional challenges is absolutely critical for every naturalized citizen in the United States right now. The first and most significant area of change involves the concept of denaturalization. Denaturalization is the legal process by which the United States government can revoke a person's citizenship. This is not a new concept. It has existed in American law for a very long time, and it has been used in specific, well-defined circumstances, primarily cases where someone obtained citizenship through fraud, misrepresentation, or concealment of material facts during the naturalization process. Historically, denaturalization cases have been relatively rare and have been pursued against individuals who lied about serious criminal conduct, war crimes, or terrorist affiliations during their citizenship applications. What is new under the current administration is the scale, the scope, and the stated intent behind denaturalization efforts. The Trump administration has significantly expanded the resources dedicated to investigating potential denaturalization cases and has made clear its intention to pursue denaturalization more aggressively than any previous administration. The Department of Justice has established dedicated units focused on reviewing past naturalizations for potential fraud or misrepresentation. The types of conduct that may now trigger a denaturalization investigation have been broadened, and the administration has signaled that it intends to use denaturalization as a broader immigration enforcement tool than it has been used in the past. What does this mean for you as a naturalized citizen? If you obtained your citizenship honestly, if you answered all questions on your application truthfully, if you disclosed all required information accurately, and if you have not been involved in any of the specific categories of conduct that the law identifies as grounds for denaturalization, your citizenship is secure. The Constitution provides powerful protections against arbitrary denaturalization, and the courts have consistently held that the government bears a very heavy burden of proof in denaturalization proceedings. However, it is important to understand that the process itself, even when the government ultimately does not succeed, can be enormously stressful, expensive, and disruptive for the families involved. This is one reason why being fully informed about your rights and having proper legal documentation in order is more important now than ever before. The second major area of change involves birthright citizenship, and this is perhaps the most legally dramatic and constitutionally significant policy that the Trump administration has attempted to implement. Shortly after taking office for his second term, President Trump signed an executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to parents who are in the country illegally or on temporary visas. This executive order immediately triggered a massive legal battle that has been working its way through the federal court system. Multiple federal judges issued injunctions blocking the executive order from taking effect, finding that it directly contradicts the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which states that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction are citizens of the United States. The legal consensus among constitutional scholars is that this executive order cannot survive judicial scrutiny without a constitutional amendment, which requires a two-thirds vote in both houses of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of the states. That is an extraordinarily high bar that the current political environment makes essentially impossible to clear in the near term. However, the Supreme Court of the United States has been asked to weigh in on this issue, and its ultimate ruling will have profound implications not just for future children born in the United States, but for the entire interpretation of constitutional citizenship rights. Every naturalized citizen should follow this legal battle closely because the outcome will shape immigration law for generations. The third major area involves new and significantly stricter enforcement of existing immigration laws, particularly as they affect the pathways that lead to naturalization. The administration has dramatically increased scrutiny of green card holders, visa holders, and others who are on the path towards citizenship. Processing times for naturalization applications have shifted in various ways with increased background check requirements and more rigorous review processes being implemented at United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. There have also been reports of increased scrutiny of applications from individuals who have had any contact with the public benefits system, building on the public charge rules that have been the subject of ongoing legal and policy battles. For people who are currently in the naturalization process, this means that the journey to citizenship may be longer, more documentive, and more subject to delays than it was in recent years. It is more important than ever to make sure that every aspect of your application is complete, accurate, and supported by proper documentation. Any gaps, inconsistencies, or errors in your application can trigger additional scrutiny and delay. Working with a qualified immigration attorney during the naturalization process is strongly recommended in the current environment, not because the process is impossible to navigate alone, but because the stakes are too high to risk avoidable mistakes. The fourth area of change involves the treatment of naturalized citizens with dual nationality. While the United States does not formally prohibit dual citizenship, the current administration has expressed strong opposition to it and has taken several steps that affect naturalized citizens who maintain citizenship in their country of origin. There has been increased scrutiny of naturalized citizens who travel frequently to certain countries, who maintain strong ties to foreign governments, or who hold foreign government positions. In some cases, individuals have faced questions about whether they took their oath of allegiance with the sincere intent to renounce prior allegiances as required by the naturalization oath. While dual citizenship itself remains legally permissible for naturalized citizens in most circumstances, the practical environment for naturalized citizens with connections to other countries has become more complicated and more scrutinized than before. The fifth and final major area we want to address today involves the rights of naturalized citizens who have criminal records or who come into contact with the criminal justice system. This is an area where the current administration has been particularly aggressive. Under existing law, naturalized citizens who are convicted of certain serious crimes can face denaturalization proceedings if the conviction reveals conduct that predated the naturalization and was concealed during the application process. However, the current administration has pushed to expand this concept and has sought to use criminal justice involvement, including in some cases arrests that did not result in convictions as a basis for additional scrutiny of naturalized citizens. This is a legally contested area, and courts have pushed back on some of these efforts. But the direction of the administration's policy is clear, and naturalized citizens who have any prior criminal justice involvement should consult with an immigration attorney to understand their specific situation. Now let us talk about what you can and should do right now to protect yourself and your family. The first thing every naturalized citizen should do is locate and secure their original naturalization certificate. This document, known as Form N-550 or N-570, is the primary legal proof of your citizenship. Keep it in a safe place. Make certified copies and consider keeping a copy in a secure location outside your home, such as a safe deposit box. If you have lost your naturalization certificate, you can apply for a replacement through USCIS using Form N-565, and you should do this as soon as possible. The second thing you should do is obtain a United States passport if you do not already have one. A United States passport is the strongest possible proof of your citizenship and is recognized by every government agency in the country. Unlike a naturalization certificate, a passport is widely accepted as identification and proof of citizenship in virtually every context you will encounter. If your passport has expired, renew it now. Do not wait. The third thing you should do is gather and organize all of your immigration documents. This includes your original visa documents, your green card or permanent resident card, your naturalization application, and all supporting documents, any correspondence you received from USCIS during the process, and any other official immigration paperwork you have received over the years. Keeping these documents organized and accessible is important because if questions ever arise about your status or the circumstances of your naturalization, having a complete paper trail is your strongest defense. The fourth recommendation is to know your constitutional rights. As a naturalized citizen, you have the full protection of the United States Constitution. You have the right to remain silent when questioned by government officials. You have the right to an attorney. You have the right to due process before any government action can be taken against you. These rights are not theoretical. They are real. They are enforceable, and they apply to you fully and completely. Understanding your rights before you ever need them is the most important preparation you can make. The fifth recommendation is to consult with a qualified immigration attorney, particularly if you have any concerns about your specific situation. If you have a criminal record of any kind, if there were any complications or inconsistencies in your naturalization process, if you maintain citizenship in another country, or if you have family members who are not yet citizens and whose immigration status could be affected by current enforcement policies. Immigration law is extraordinarily complex. It is changing rapidly, and the consequences of navigating it without proper guidance can be severe. Many immigration attorneys offer free initial consultations, and there are nonprofit legal organizations across the country that provide low-cost or free immigration legal services to those who need them. The sixth and final recommendation is to stay informed. The immigration landscape in the United States right now is changing at an extraordinary pace. Executive orders are being issued and challenged. Court decisions are coming down regularly. Congressional proposals are being debated. Staying on top of these developments is essential, and that is exactly what US Visa Info is here to help you do. Subscribe to this channel, follow credible news sources, and make sure that you and your family are never caught off guard by changes that directly affect your lives. There is one more thing we want to say before we close today, and it is something we feel very strongly about at US Visa Info. Being a naturalized citizen of the United States of America means something profound. It means that you made a choice. You chose this country. You went through a process. You took an oath. You committed yourself to the values and the laws of the United States. That choice deserves respect. It deserves protection. And it deserves to be defended. The vast majority of naturalized citizens in this country are law-abiding, hard-working, tax-paying members of their communities who have contributed enormously to the fabric of American society. The current political climate may be creating fear and uncertainty, but knowledge is power, and an informed citizen is a protected citizen. That is our complete breakdown of the Trump administration's 2026 immigration updates and what they mean for naturalized citizens across the United States. We will continue to monitor every development in this rapidly changing landscape and bring you the most accurate and up-to-date information available. If this video helped you or someone you care about, please give it a thumbs up and share it widely, because this information matters and every person who sees it is better prepared to protect themselves and their family. Leave your questions in the comments section below because we read every single comment and we address your questions in our upcoming videos. Most importantly, please subscribe to US Visa Info right now and turn on your notifications because in an environment changing this fast, you cannot afford to miss a single update. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for watching, and we will see you in the next video right here on US Visa Info. Stay informed, know your rights.